Red River Unitarian Universalist Church proudly presented the Reverend Dr. Mark Y.A. Davies, July 6, 2025, on the topic of interdependence. Welcome from Red River Unitarian Universalist. Thank you for joining us. The religion we practice in this church is centered in the here and now, rather than the hereafter. It is more of a thinking kind of religion than a believing kind. It is governed more by reason than by tradition, more concerned with the present than the past. It is concerned with getting the most out of life, with living wisely and well. A major aim for us is continually expanding our understanding of life and ourselves. This church is a community of people who share in the free and open search for a level of understanding that will enable us to be more fully and effectively alive. The church does not tell us what we must believe. It stimulates us to think. It supports us in our search. You are welcome to join us. Our centering value is love, with transformation, generosity, equity, interdependence, justice, and pluralism.
We are people of all ages who enter this space bringing our joys and our concerns. We come together in hope. We greet each other warmly with our voices and our smiles. We come together in peace. We will be lighting our chalice to symbolize our interdependence and our unity. We come together in harmony. We share our growth and our aspirations. We come together in wonder. We share our losses and our disappointments. We come together in sorrow. We share our concern and our compassion. We come together in love. We come to this place bringing our doubts and our faith. We come together as seekers. We sing and pray and listen. We speak and read and dream. We think and ponder and reflect. We cry and laugh and center. We mourn and celebrate and meditate. We strive for justice and for mercy. We come together. This time we have opportunity to light our candles of community. You can light a candle for joy or concern, or to remember someone, or just to bring more light into our space.
The sun comes back and the first quail calls follow the drinking gourd. Then the open is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd.
Follow the drinking
Let's stand together in body or spirit for our chalice lighting and spoken affirmation and the lighting of the peace candle. The chalice lit among us is a beacon of hope in a world in crisis, a beacon of possibility made manifest in community, a beacon of warmth through our interconnections, a beacon of light illuminating our shared wisdom, a beacon of connection by our being together. Let's join together in the spoken affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and freedom, and to help one another. We light this peace candle to remind us of all the places in the world where there is no peace. Let us join together in the words on the screen. Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. You may be seated. Our opening thought comes from Simone de Beauvoir and her work, The Blood of Others. She writes, I cannot withdraw into myself. I exist outside myself and everywhere in the world. There is not an inch of my path which does not encroach on the path of another. There is no way of being that can prevent me from overflowing myself at every moment. This life that I weave with my own substance, it offers other persons 1,000 unknown faces. It crosses impetuously their fate. Our next reading is from Martin Luther King Jr. from his Christmas sermon on peace from 1967. Did you ever stop to think that you can't leave for your job in the morning without being dependent upon most of the world? Before you finish eating breakfast in the morning, you've depended on more than half the world. This is the way our universe is structured. It is interrelated quality. We aren't going to have peace on earth until we recognize this basic fact of the interrelated structure of all reality. Our words for our meditation this morning come from Len Cox. Bring us close to the earth. Let's take a moment to be more relaxed and set both feet on the ground. Close our eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. In and out. Keep breathing. Spirit of life, ground our being, root of unified mystery, growing into myriad branches of expression, bring us together now. Bring us close to the earth, ear to the whispering grass, quietly, attentively, waiting with slow breaths. Listening for the very stones to cry out with their rocky stories of tectonic plates, meeting and parting and meeting, their mineral memories of Hadean days, molten rocks flowing and joining, their ancient legends of stars born out of the collapse of other stars. Help us to remember. Help us to piece together our oneness with matter, our oneness that matters, with one more deep breath. May we rise, star stuff walking and rolling across the surface of an impossible blue-green planet. May we join together to heal what is divided. May we find wholeness within, without, among, between. Eternal Source, Seed of the universe, help us to grow peace. So be it. Blessed be. Amen. Our next reading comes from John Lewis, Across That Bridge, A Vision for Change and the Future of America. John Lewis writes, "We believe some people are more special, more beautiful, more capable, more influential, more intelligent, more gifted, and have a greater capacity for good than others, often based on material possessions and outer appearances. At the root, that is why we are engaged in a struggle now in the Congress, led by one group of people who truly believes their role is to defend the privileges of the elite. They defend tax breaks for the rich and ask for trillions in cuts to the safety nets that protect the middle class, the elderly, the sick, and the poor. Because, in essence, they believe one group is more important than the other, more deserving than the other, and one contributes more good than the other. This is actually an illusion that is blind to the interdependence of the entire creation, which unites the weak with the strong, the privileged with the poor, and the ugly with the beautiful. All the inequities of our world are basically attempts to actualize these erroneous beliefs. And that is why there is turmoil, because we are in conflict with the truth, working to manifest an idea that is false." Well, we just celebrated our Declaration of Freedom from a king, although I've been reminded that it was really a constitutional monarchy that was more controlled by the Parliament than the king, but King George still had some say in terms of what was happening in the colonies at that time. And it's also a lot more compelling to say you're declaring freedom from a king than a constitutional monarchy controlled by the Parliament. But as we celebrate this declaration of freedom from a king, it's also helpful to reflect on what our freedom is for. True freedom entails using our freedom for each other, seeing ourselves as in this together, living into our interdependence, not just our independence, our interdependence with one another, and cultivating a culture of empathy within community. What a different world it would have been had that focus on interdependence, that focus on empathy, that focus on community. What a different world it would have been had that been the focus of the early days of the founding of the United States. What a different world it would have been even prior to the founding of the United States. What a different world it may have been had Columbus used his freedom not to torture or enslave or kill the human beings he encountered when he landed at what was only a new world to him and his shipmates. What a different world it may have been had he returned to Europe and made the case for peaceful relations with the people, the human beings that they had encountered, rather than viewing their lives as expendable and their land as there for the taking. What a different world it would be if the United States had used its freedom from Great Britain to become free to be truly good to one another, rather than continue to enslave human beings and erase indigenous people and steal their land. What a different world it would be had we used our independence to live into the interdependence that we experience with the whole human community, every single human being, and also the community of all life. What a different world it would be if we had lived into the reality that all persons are created equal the moment we were free from rule by a king. What a different world it would be if the founders of the United States had taken the words of the Declaration of Independence to heart, truly to heart, and in the most inclusive sense, to recognize that all persons are created equal, instead of racistly designating black persons as 3/5 of a person and women as subordinate to men. What a different world it would be had the United States recognized the equality and the interdependence of all people and emancipated enslaved persons without a civil war. Without a civil war, costing 620,000 lives. What a different world it would be if, after the Civil War, the United States had fully repented from the sin of racism, embraced the interdependence of the human community, and committed itself to the full inclusion and participation of all persons in the cultural, economic, and political life of the nation, rather than depriving black persons of the right to vote and perpetuating inequality through the injustice of the Jim Crow laws enforced by a reign of terror and murder by the KKK. What a different world it would be if, in response to the civil rights movement, the United States had committed itself to equal opportunity, equity, and justice for all, rather than allowing greed to lead us to record income inequality, and allowing racists to use and abuse the justice system to create an incarceration nation that disproportionately affects persons who are black and brown and poor. What a different world it would be if we had recognized the interdependence of our ecological community, and had we listened to our climate scientists who told us our use of fossil fuels is ruining a livable climate, rather than accepting the disinformation and the propaganda of fossil fuel companies whose own scientists told them that continued use of fossil fuels would lead to catastrophic warming of the planet. History has shown us the consequences of not recognizing and not living fully into the reality of our interdependence. But we can still work for beloved community, both in the present and in the future. We cannot let our lament over what might have been keep us from engaging the hard work for justice in our times. Rather, we must learn. We must learn from the lessons history has taught us to make sure our present and future do not continue to rhyme with the worst of the past. Because the worst of the past is a very bad poem. The founders of the United States, not the founders of the land that we live on, not the original peoples who lived here, but the founders of the United States did express elements of a vision that was greater than their virtue. A vision that was greater than their virtue. And when the United States has at times come more close to fully living into that vision, sometimes it feels like we're finally beginning to live into that vision of all persons being created equal with liberty and justice for all. Seems like each time we come close to that, America's original sin of racism rears its ugly head yet again. And now we are experiencing what is clearly a form of American fascism, manifesting itself in the destruction of social welfare for the most vulnerable among us, the rolling back of diversity, equity, and inclusion, lawless abductions, mass deportations, and concentration camps, all in a blatant attempt to make America white again. But our interdependence is a reality that cannot be ignored. And fascism in the United States will not have the last word. But we must not lose our compassion. We must not lose our humanity as we work against it. For as the theologian Thomas Merton once said, compassion is the keen awareness of our interdependence. I'm reminded this week that love never rejoices in or mocks the suffering of others. Love never rejoices in or mocks the suffering of others, whether they are persons who are suffering in a concentration camp here in the United States or abroad, persons who are being abducted, separated from their families, or persons who are suffering because of floods in Central Texas, separated from their families. Some have lost their lives, some have lost all that they owned. One of my former students and his wife and child lost everything they had. And another student lost members of their family this past week. Love never rejoices or mocks the suffering of others. No matter what side of the political divide they may be on, all persons are persons of sacred worth, and their suffering is something that we should attempt to help them avoid and to be there with them, to care for them, to show compassion, to prove that empathy is a virtue that all of us should be participating in. There is an ironic thing about fascists and fascism and our experience of it in the world today within our own country. And it's this. By their very nature, fascists refuse to learn from history. And they want to keep others from being exposed to real history. And the history that they are suppressing is actually a history that shows us what eventually happens to fascists and fascist countries. They don't last. They come to an end. The hell they are creating for others will eventually become a hell for them. A hell that could have been avoided through education, empathy, equity, justice, love, and compassion, the very things they revel in destroying. And it is a hell that we can all escape. It's not a hell that we have to stay in. It is a hell that we can all escape if we make the sacrifice that is necessary to fulfill the vision, the vision that our founders had bits and pieces of in the words that they shared with us in the founding documents. The sacrifice that's necessary to fulfill the vision that all persons are created equal in beloved community. Not just beloved human community, but the beloved community of all creation. And when we do recognize that, when we do make that sacrifice together, when we do eventually defeat fascism as it's being expressed in our nation today, perhaps then we can celebrate our Interdependence Day, our Interdependence Day with one another. What a different world it could be. What a different world it could be. At this time, we have an opportunity for giving. Those who wish may bring your gifts to the bowl. There's also a way of giving online.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We can feed our every need. We can feed
Let's stand and body our spirit for our benediction and the extinguishing of the chalices. Our benediction this morning comes from Lucas Hergert's Democracy's Benediction. We are democracy, unruly, unfinished, unrelenting, people of rebellious joy, taking to the streets, underground resilience, resisting complacence, the pleasure of activism, organizing into simple hope. We are democracy, people of principles taking on principalities, witnessing the worth of those called unworthy, justice just now gaining ground, integrity of interdependent existence extending, living democracy in heads, hands, hearts. We know that democracy can die, ossify, brittle byproducts of bygone idealists, plotting politicians, pirating votes, corporations cannibalizing our care for the world. Look, it can wither, distend, come to an end. Democracy, today we will love you alive, make you ours, make you thrive. Let's join together in the words to extinguish the chalices. We extinguish these flames, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you. Very nice. I'm going to